The 1980s were a period of economic strain in Nigeria. The oil boom of the previous decade had faded. This downturn created widespread financial hardship. Many individuals sought alternative means of income. Desperation sometimes led to illicit activities. It was in this climate that advance fee fraud began to take root. The society was shifting under these pressures. New ways to survive were sought. These early scams became known as 419 scams. The name came from Section 419 of the Nigerian Criminal Code. This particular section deals with obtaining property by false pretenses. The scams themselves were simple in their initial premise. They promised victims a large sum of money. In return, victims had to pay smaller upfront fees. These fees were supposedly for processing or other costs. The methods were rudimentary by today's standards. Scammers relied on traditional mail. They would send out countless letters. These letters targeted individuals and businesses, often overseas. The letters were carefully composed. They aimed to look official. They spoke of forgotten inheritances or lucrative government contracts. The allure of easy money was a powerful bait for many unsuspecting people. The narratives in these letters were elaborate. Scammers posed as government officials, bank employees, or wealthy individuals. They created convincing backstories to support their claims. The goal was to build an illusion of legitimacy. They sought to gain the victim's trust quickly. These early deceptions laid the groundwork for more sophisticated methods later. The core idea was to exploit human greed and hope. Early scammers used typewriters to produce their letters. This was a laborious process. Each letter had to be individually typed. Addresses were often sourced from publicly available directories. The postal system was their main channel for communication. Despite the effort, the potential rewards were significant. This motivated many to engage in these fraudulent schemes. The letters traveled across continents. The content of these letters was persuasive. They often included fake official stamps. Sometimes they used seemingly legitimate letterheads. These were all part of the deception. The scammers understood human psychology. They knew how to appeal to a desire for wealth. They crafted stories that seemed plausible, yet extraordinary. The promise of a fortune was hard for some to ignore. One notable figure from this era was Fred Ajudua. He became infamous in the 1990s. Ajudua was a lawyer. He allegedly used his social standing and legal knowledge. He was accused of defrauding numerous individuals. His targets were often foreign nationals. He presented an image of influence and connections. This helped him gain their confidence. Ajudua's case highlighted the scale of these operations. He allegedly convinced victims to part with large sums. These sums were supposedly for facilitating lucrative deals. His activities brought negative international attention to Nigeria. The impact on victims was devastating. They suffered huge financial losses. Such high-profile cases showed the challenge of tackling this fraud. The legal processes were often long and complex. The late 1990s brought a major change. The internet began to spread in Nigeria. Cyber cafes started appearing in cities and towns. Email became a new, faster way to communicate. This technological shift was transformative. It presented new opportunities for legitimate businesses. It also offered new avenues for scammers. They were quick to see its potential. Scams quickly moved online. Email allowed for mass distribution of fraudulent messages. It was cheaper and faster than postal mail. Scammers could reach a global audience easily. The anonymity of the internet was also an advantage. They adapted their old letter formats for this new medium. The core narratives of sudden wealth remained. The tools, however, had changed significantly. This digital shift gave rise to a new group. They became known as Yahoo Boys. This name came from their frequent use of Yahoo Mail. These were often young men. They gathered in cyber cafes to conduct their activities. Their methods evolved beyond simple advance fee emails. Romance scams and identity theft became more common. A distinct subculture emerged around them. The rise of the Yahoo Boys presented new challenges. They were tech-savvy and adaptable. They exploited vulnerabilities in online systems. They also used social engineering to manipulate victims. The scale of online fraud grew rapidly. The Nigerian government recognized the need to address this growing problem. The existing laws were not always adequate for these new crimes. This set the stage for new enforcement efforts. In response to rising cybercrime, Nigeria took action. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, or EFCC, was established in 2003. Its mandate was to combat financial crimes. This included the pervasive 419 scams and internet fraud. The EFCC began investigating and prosecuting offenders. This marked a serious effort to curb these illicit activities. High-profile arrests were made, sending a clear message. Despite the EFCC's efforts, internet fraud has persisted. Socioeconomic factors play a significant role. High unemployment rates and poverty continue to exist. For some young people, scamming appears as a viable option. The allure of quick, substantial wealth can be strong. The global and anonymous nature of the internet makes enforcement difficult. Scammers are constantly evolving their tactics. However, a positive transformation is also underway. Nigeria's technology scene has blossomed. It has shifted from this darker association. Today, Nigeria is a beacon of innovation in Africa. Lagos, in particular, has become a major tech hub. Young Nigerians are channeling their talents into legitimate ventures. They are building startups and creating useful technology solutions. This is a remarkable change. This new tech ecosystem is vibrant and growing. It attracts international investment. It creates jobs and opportunities. The narrative about Nigeria and technology is changing. It is moving from a focus on cybercrime to one of innovation. The country is producing successful tech entrepreneurs. This demonstrates the immense talent and potential within Nigeria. The future of Nigerian tech is bright. It is a story of progress and resilience.